everyone. Her name escapes me right now, so I'm gonna have to put like a little description box with her name. Sorry, but she did a video about her tattoos because someone else did a video about tattoos, and I love tattoos. I have a bunch of smaller tattoos, and they're just individual symbols. So of these various symbols, with a few exceptions, I have 14. But it's not like I have a huge tattoo here and that's one or something. Now, because I know tattoos can be addicting, since I have 14, I created some rules for myself. One of the first rules is that the tattoos can't be in any place obvious. So obvious would be, like on my neck, on my face, any place that I couldn't cover up with professional clothes. Because if I have a bikini on or like a shirt like this, you can see my tattoos. But I should be able to wear my business clothes and hide my tattoos if need be. But luckily I work for companies that don't care if I have tattoos or not. Another rule is that they have to be symbols. Now, 2 of my tattoos are not, and I created this rule after that. But I don't want a picture of a heart or someone's face or someone's name. Not that there's anything wrong with that. People get it all the time. But for me, I only want symbols. For many reasons. There are specific reasons why I got, that one symbol, but because it's a symbol, it can mean many things. And I like that, it can have 20 different symbolic meanings. I even bought a book called The Dictionary of Symbols because of all my tattoos, and I wanted to find inspiration for more, actually. Right here, The Dictionary of Symbols. And it's a very basic book. I need to find a more in-depth one, but it gives me the starting point ideas. And it has different ways that it groups them and short explanations for them and stuff. It's a really cool book though. I like it. And the third rule is that once I decide I want a tattoo, I have to wait an entire year. So say I decide I want a tattoo on my hand, but I wouldn't do that because that breaks rule number 1. But if I wanted a tattoo on my hand, once I decided the color and exactly what it was and how big, then I have to wait a year from that moment before I could actually get it. And say I decide, actually, you know what, I want to put it on this hand instead. As soon as I change anything, whether it's the color, make it a little smaller or a different location, I have to wait another year on top of that. It used to be 6 months, but I moved it to a year. And this is just to keep me in check, because I cover my entire body in tattoos if I could. I could, but the point is I'm trying to prevent myself from just being sporadic. I do remember this one guy I dated, he wasn't that much into tattoos, and he was just like, oh, I don't know why people get those, and you're going to lose out on so many opportunities. I haven't, thank you very much. Not any opportunities that I really wanted, I could say that. And then he was like, well, in 10 years from now, they're not even going to mean anything. And, one of my tattoos actually holds a great deal of meaning. So for someone who doesn't understand it, I was just like, whatever. Another reason I like tattoos, and another girl, I can't remember her name, but she touched on it. I like the history of tattoos and just the more ritualistic meaning behind them. I love, for some people it's painful, and at times it's painful to me, but not a bad pain. And I don't know, when I get them, I just get in this mindset of I'm enduring this thing, this penetration of my skin. But one of the things that I talk about on my blog is that no matter what you're going through or what's happening in your life, nothing can penetrate your soul. And it's the same thing with tattoos. Our bodies, you know, you want to take care of them because they're so temporal. Like, I could be gone tomorrow. But then on the other side of it, because it's so temporary, like, this is not me. You know, the essence of who I am is inside my soul. And so this body, you know, I want to take care of it. I want to be in shape, but it's just skin and bones. So if I want to mark it up for significant or insignificant reasons, and I can take ownership for those choices, it's my choice. So that's my long ramble about my tattoos. So let's get into them. Two of my most obvious tattoos people seldom notice. I think it's because it's a color. They're brown, so people assume that it's henna. It's right here. I don't know if you can see it. It is, can you see it? Am I holding this right? I don't know. It's a sun. And this tattoo is actually the most significant of all of my tattoos. Yeah. And then I have a moon with an 8-point star, which has its own significance. Well, oh wait, can you see this? I don't know how to hold these up. I might have to take pictures of these, because if I do this, it kind of like contorts it. Can you see it there? It's a crescent moon with an 8-point star. I love those two. These are my favorite. I wish all of my tattoos had been in brown. Then more tattoos I have are here. So, well, over here, it's one. And this one is the fifth element, the ether. Now, I went to, for most of my tattoos, I went to the same place. It's this place in Bucktown in Chicago called Tattoo Tattoo. And they are great. And I got, I think, 2 of my tattoos here in New York when I was visiting years ago. But this tattoo, right? Okay. So this tattoo, I lived in Uptown in Chicago, great neighborhood. And I decided to go to this place there. It was like 2 blocks from my old apartment. I don't remember the name, because if I did, I would put them on blast. And so I knew I wanted this tattoo, but the guy, he was all nice and stuff, so I'm like, okay, I'll let him do it. And as soon as he started tattooing me, he got really weird and creepy. Like, as he's tattooing me, I could feel him touching me more than he needed to. I mean, not in an abusive way, but just, he was whatever. And as he was doing this, like, he waited until after he started. He was like, "How does that feel, pussycat?" What? Okay, and like, you know, if someone is doing things to you that they shouldn't, or speaking to you in a disrespectful tone, don't put up with that. I say cut it out. But when someone is in the middle of tattooing something permanently on you, I kind of felt stuck, because if I snapped on him, you know, who's to say what he would have in retaliation tattooed on me? So I just, in the moment, I just like went somewhere else in my own head to let him finish the tattoo. I was so annoyed. And then it wasn't until after I checked the tattoo that I realized he actually did it a little too thick. If you look at my other tattoos on the other side of my back, they're a little thinner. So I actually have to figure out some way to either morph this into a different symbol and get that symbol again, or just live with it. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with that. But that is the fifth element, the ether. So then over here, there's a bunch of symbols, and you may recognize some of them. Yes. So they are, you know, there's an Ankh for life. There's the astrological symbol for the Leo, because I am a Leo. I have the symbol for Mercury, symbol for Jupiter. I have 2 for Saturn, because depending on the way it's oriented, it means different things. And I love these symbols. The only thing I wish I'd done differently is gotten them in brown, like the 2 on my wrist. And then, I don't know, I may have to pull the camera down for you to see this one. So let's hold on a second. So I have 4 more tattoos here. And if you can see, they are, it's 4 triangles in different orientations. And then one more, I'm going to show you this one. This is my first tattoo. It is a little flower, classic. And then one more tattoo I'm going to show you. I haven't shaved though, so deal with it. I don't know if you can see this. It's right here. Back. So the 4 triangles that you saw, those are the alchemy symbols for the 4 elements, air, water, earth, and fire, which is why then up here I got the 5th element, the ether. Then you saw the flower that I got. It was my first tattoo. I don't regret it, although I definitely want to elaborate on it and morph it into a more symbolic type of thing. And then on my ankle, it's a word. It's the Sanskrit word for nature. And all my tattoos, they're kind of all tied in together. You know, like I have the 4 elements, earth, water, fire, air, but then I have the sun, which is the fire symbol, and like the Leo, so they're all connected in that way, and that's intentional too. And their locations are intentional, it's not random. So for future tattoos, my plan is basically to cover my entire back in symbols. At one point I wanted my birth chart on my back, but that's not going to really work. I got to figure out something else in regards to that. But I definitely want my entire back covered in like rows of symbols, and I can't wait. Like, I can't wait for that to be complete, and I have more than enough symbols for it. There are 2 more words that I'm going to get, one in Hebrew and one in Arabic. They were decided before I made my rules about them only being symbols. So I'm going to go ahead and get those. I'm just trying to muster up the courage to get them on my ankle next to the other one, because that's the tattoo that hurt the most. And those are my tattoos. Yeah, I love them. I don't regret them. I mean, it is kind of annoying remembering the one guy who tattooed my shoulder called me Pussycat while he did it. And even though in retrospect I would have loved for them all to be brown, I don't regret them, because they symbolize different things in regards to what I was going through when I got them, and some of them just hold special deep meaning. I also just think that they're wonderful, and it's art on your body. It's great. So those are my tattoos.